Hi and welcome to today's video, and we're going to be sharing some details today as to why 26% of first-time buyers are not buying property. Now, we commissioned some research and what came out was really quite interesting, but why 26%? Now, we've just been featured in FT Advisor Online. Please click on the link below, read the article, let us know whether you like it or not, and let us know your comments on that one, because we'd love to hear from you. Let's get into it. We commissioned a study and it showed that 26% of British first-time buyers are not considering purchasing property. And the question is why? And the answer, surprisingly, was that despite the fact they were first-time buyers, they were worried about the stamp duty cost. Now, why should this be the case? Well, as it turns out, quite a lot of Brits aren't aware of the full impact of first-time buyers relief, and a significant percentage of them are already property owners, whether they've made a buy-to-let investment and together or with members of their family, or whether in fact they've inherited a property, and they didn't appreciate that that disqualified them from first-time buyers relief, even though they'd never owned their own home. At the end of this video, I'm going to tell you how you can reclaim overpaid SDLT from HMRC. But let's really think now and talk now about why these people aren't moving. Now, as we all know, we've gone through a period of rapidly rising interest rates, and that alone has deterred many potential first-time buyers from entering the market because they simply cannot afford the mortgage payments. They're worried about economic instability and a number of other issues. But when we really drilled down into it, we found out that a lot of these people were not going forward with their purchasing decisions simply because they misunderstood the amount of stamp duty involved. Indeed, some research commissioned amongst mortgage brokers 2 years ago showed that up to 30% of potential purchases are bought before an offer is even made, because people get the stamp duty figure wrong and then they don't feel they can afford it, or indeed they fail affordability on the mortgage calculator. Have you halted a property purchase in the last 12 months? Have you decided not to go ahead with something? Please let us know in the comments below, because we'd love to hear your reasons. There seem to be quite a common theme about affordability, but if you have specific issues, whether it's stamp duty or not, we'd love to know about them. Maybe we can talk about them in a future video. Most people don't appreciate that stamp duty is a very complicated subject. It has a number of factors involved as to whether you are buying a 100% residential or not. There are up to 49 reliefs. First-time buyers relief is one of them, of course. And then there is the question of whether or not you're liable to surcharges. All in all, you can end up with as many pleasant surprises, first-time buyers relief, as you can end up with unpleasant surprises, being suddenly told that you're liable for 3% or even a 2% additional non-resident surcharge. So it's important to get advice early on in the, I call it the transaction cycle. When you're considering a purchase, understand what surcharges you may or may not be liable to, and whether or not you qualify for reliefs. And the best way to do this, of course, get some advice. It's not expensive. Indeed, it may cost you nothing to get an initial overview of what your position is. But it'll be all important when filling in the mortgage application and going to look for that first property. Understanding or not whether your first property or any property you're buying qualifies for multiple dwellings relief because it has an annex. Again, we see this missed quite frequently. So overall, those 1 in 4 buyers who are not going forward may well, in most circumstances, have been able to, had they properly considered the true costs of acquisition. Ultimately, therefore, getting that advice is what I was talking about at the start of the video. If you consider and plan and do this properly early, you'll be able to go forward in a more informed way and know what your costs are going to be. If you have bought a property and you've paid stamp duty and you think, having listened to this or any of our other videos, that you might have overpaid, then get in touch with us, because there are ways we can reclaim it for you and we'd be more than happy to help you do that. Now, if you've liked this video, as I said earlier, please click like, please subscribe to receive further updates, and I'll be talking to you again soon. I've been David Hanna for Cornerstone Tax and SDLT Refunds. Thank you for listening.